Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Brenda. It's 11:30 p.m. at my end. All late at night. Hola, Trini. I'm fine. War is war. I'm not going into it, so I won't get depressed. Still breathing. That's all we can do. Well, Brenda, I hope it will get better. We've got some envelopes here, Manila envelopes, white, and this craft paper. Uh, how can I explain it? It's wear every day. You can say that, although in my area you don't feel it as much as other areas of the country. But yeah, we are still in high alert because you can get missiles from as far as Yemen. So we just keep going. I don't know how to explain it. It's a different set of mind. It's, I don't know, maybe people like that have tornadoes, they live with it. It's not something out of the usual, so we have to keep on going. Hi, Desiree. Okay, so Manila envelopes, some paper bags, although these are not the paper bags I wanted to use. I know I bought bigger ones, like something like that, like the Manila envelopes, but for the life of me, I can't find them. I have these little ones and even a more, even smaller, like these ones. And there is a video I've done in the past about how to do what I'm going to do today with the paper bags. So at the end of the live I will put a link below, so you will have that video also, and I'm going to demonstrate on these small ones. But first I want to start with the Manila envelopes. And I'm just reading. Hi, Caroline. Thanks, Jennifer. It's a dark gray, but with my awful camera, that's how it looks. So, envelopes, paper bags later. We'll start with this, and you can do it with any size that you have. I like to work with this size of an envelope. Maybe I'll get a ruler just to tell you some kind of measurements. This is 9 inches by, I'm guessing, 12 and a half, because my ruler don't get to This is inches, and if you want centimeters, it's 22.5 centimeters by approximately 31.5 centimeters. Okay, so what we are going to do today is decorate the envelopes in all kinds of ways, and then we are going to create with them. It can be a pocket, just a pocket. It can be a clutch. It can be another kind of envelope for Happy Mail. It can even be a cover for a journal. So all kinds of stuff is going to go on today. And I'm going to start with the bigger envelope and this one, just because I really like craft paper, but it really doesn't have to be. And it's very basic. It's just going to be something like that. Okay, of course I will show all the options and what you can do with it, but that's the basic thing we are going to do today. And you can decorate it only from the outside, or you can decide to do also the inside. I'm going to do only the outside today, just so we can go over all kinds of other options. And just so you can see, I only have one example. This is the only one I've got left from the video I've done some years ago. This was done from a paper bag. So here it is. This is a very basic thing that you can create. So this is the only one that I have left from the last one. All the others were sent in Happy Mail and all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to put this aside, and we are going to start with decorating. And let's see, I can see the chat going on. Hi, Deborah. Okay, so first one, I want to use a sponge. I just took a piece of sponge. I've got turquoise and green, and I've got some gold just to have some highlights and shimmer. And there is no concrete plan. I'm just going to use the sponge to cover. Okay, and I should probably put more. Okay, I'm starting with these two colors, and after I will put these two, I'm going to add the gold. Okay, so just dipping into the turquoise, and not much of a plan, and it doesn't have to be with a sponge. You can take a brayer, you can take a brush, whatever you fancy. I'm just spreading it willy-nilly. I'm dipping now into the green, and I'm continuing with the same sponge. It just gives in between colors. If you don't want something to mix, just change to a different piece of a sponge. And I'm also getting some of more of the turquoise, just so again I will have an in between colors. And I don't care that some of the color of the envelopes is coming through. I'm not looking for complete coverage. Okay, gold. Lots of acrylic booger here. Oopsie. Okay, again, I'm using the same sponge. And just want to give some shimmer and highlights in some places, and because the paint is still wet, it's also, again, it mixes together. So it's more interesting, I think, at least. Okay, so that's that. I need for this to dry before I'm doing anything else. I want to stencil on top of it. This is just the beginning. And I'm going to put this aside. And also the sponge, I don't need it anymore. I can take this aside. And I'm going to wipe here before I'm doing some damage. I'm going to do several envelopes, all kinds of decorating, and then each one will do something a little bit different in terms of what it's going to be used as. So, yeah. Okay. Next. So another Manila envelope. This one is white, don't care. And I'm going to do the outside. I think I'll use some of my painty papers to do a collage. And again, you can decorate however you want. You can paint, you can collage, you can stencil, you can stamp. Whatever materials you've got, use them. Painty papers, maybe this one also. We'll see. This is too small. Okay. So, and let's see. I see more in the chat. No. Okay. Hi, Claudia. I'm just reading the chat. Okay. So I'm just going to rip some papers and have fun with it. I've got some glue here. And yeah, I think yep, just going to start with something. There's always not enough space. Okay, just if I forget, remind me to go over the paper bags after I'm finished with all the envelopes. As I said, I'm going to do first the envelopes, and later on I will do the demonstration with the paper bags. So if you see me forgetting, please remind me. I'm putting it here, and later on I will just trim the excess. I'm going over because that's how I like to do collage, and it just helps when you're getting the next piece to go on top. Okay, let's see, maybe yeah, why not? Next, I'm trying not to overthink it because I find out that when I'm not overthinking, especially this kind of projects, it just turns better. I don't know how to explain it. I'm keeping the torn edges and covering the straight edges of the paper. I want the torn edges. Oopsie. Okay. Nope. Don't like this piece. Oops. I'm always getting into something. Okay. Next, maybe this one. Why not? And let's see. Okay. I'll need another piece to cover the rest, but it's okay. Let's take this one. Okay, got coverage. Now again I need for all of this to dry. before I'm doing anything else. So putting it aside, and again wiping before I'm doing some damage. Okay, so we've done this, and let's take another envelope. Maybe a smaller one. Yeah, let's do a smaller one. This one has this, I don't care. And let's see. What do I want to do on top of this? I think I have some tissue paper that I stamped, maybe. Let's see. Tissue papers. Like I've got like this one, someone sent it to me. This one is Tim Holtz tissue paper, and something that I can't find here, and I got it in Happy Mail. And maybe this is tissue paper that I stenciled on top. I can just glue it to my envelope. Of course, I can also stamp directly on the envelope. I'm just trying to think what I want to do with this one. These are all tissue papers, most of them. I've got some coloring pages, which can also be interesting. Maybe I will tear some. Yeah, let's do some coloring pages now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Okay, so I've got this and more black and white elements here. I'll just continue with the coloring pages. So we'll have one envelope with black and white. Should be interesting. And you can tear however you want. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing right here. It just I don't know, it seems to me easier. I don't know. No, I need something a little bit different like this. So there will be some difference in, you can see the difference in the pattern. Again, you can decide on any theme in terms of color, in terms of pattern. I'm just using whatever I've got here. This was not planned in advance. I just knew I wanted to do some envelopes and paper bags, and most it would probably go in the next giveaway. So yeah. Okay, I need another one, something like this. I think I have something on my desk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it covered. I'm going to lift it and let it dry. Okay, I think the first one is dry, so I can continue. Let's see. Yeah, dry enough to do something about it. And I want to stencil on top of it just to give it some interest. I'm taking a dark green, and I've picked this stencil, and I got it in Happy Mail. Someone sent it to me, and I need a makeup sponge. Let's get rid of the dry paint. Yep. And again, I'm going to do it to add randomly. I'm not going to cover the whole thing. Just want something, some pattern. Okay, interesting enough. And I'm just changing so it won't be completely the same. Oh, I like it. Definitely like it. And I'm going to add some more in some random places. I don't even have a lot of a paint on my sponge. It really doesn't matter. Okay, don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. And I think that just because I still got some of the dark green here, I'm just gonna go over the edges. Most of the time I'm doing darkening the edges with an ink pad and a makeup sponge, but you can also do it with acrylic paint and makeup sponge. Just make sure that your sponge is not loaded with paint. Okay, so this is the outside, and I'm not doing the inside, but you can. And again, you can add whatever you want to it. You can, and now you can play with it. It can be like this, okay? It can be like this and like this. The making of, if it's a pocket, an envelope, or a cover, you decide how you go about it, and I will show all kinds of ways to go about it. I'm just saying there are no measurements, and you just play and create whatever you want. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go up to here, so I'm folding it, and maybe, yeah, and again, the flap that you've got here, you can use it or you can just ignore it. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to do this and just let it be closed. And I'm going to go and put a little bit more paint here. Okay, late I can go again all over or just leave it be. I think just to finish it off, maybe, let's see if, yeah, I can glue this on the inside just to finish it nicely. Yeah. Okay, I need to cut. Where is my cutting mat? It drives me crazy when things just disappear on me here. It's like the envelopes, the paper bags that I know I bought bigger ones and I just can't find them. When things disappear inside the home, it just drives me crazy. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Okay, and here I'm just going to put some glue stick. And now I'm going to trim the excess. Okay, so yeah, I want it like this, and like this. Now when I'm doing a flap like this, I like to I don't go all the way up to here, because when I want to later on to put things inside, it will be a little bit bulky, so you need to leave a little bit of space to the fold. Okay, now because I know I want to put things in there, like for Happy Mail, I want my envelope to have more room in it. It needs to be a little bit more extended. And what I do for to extend it, and so it won't be completely flat, although it can be. This one I didn't do much and it's a quite flat, but I want to show you how you do how you extend it so you can put a little bit more things inside. So I'm going to pick some paper. This is just, I've got a 12, this was a 12 by 12. I don't much care about the pattern. I'm going to put this on the outside, and it really doesn't matter. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark with a pencil the length of my pocket, like so. Okay, and now I'm going to cut a piece, and it needs to be, let's see, down 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go like, I hope I remember correctly, I haven't done this in a while, like 4 centimeters, and I'm going to explain why. But right now I'm just marking it. Okay, first I'll cut it like this, and now 4 centimeters is here, and I need another one, so I'm marking it at the 8, and it doesn't have to be 4 centimeters. I'm going to explain in what I'm going to do with it, and then it will make sense. You can do it in inches, however you want. I'm just going to make, basically I'm going to make an accordion fold. Okay, so these 2 pieces are going to be the extended for the pocket, and just to make life easier, I'm going to mark the centimeters. 1, 2, 3, this is 4. You don't have to, but again, it can just make life easier. Okay, so Okay, so now I'm going to fold it in accordion way, like so. And I'm using the markings I've done so it would be easier and I won't have to guess. And you get this. This is accordion fold, and you get an M or W if you're looking at it like this. Okay, and all these markings were just to so I can fold it easier. So here is the other piece, and now all I need to do is glue it here to my pocket and here at this side. And it's a little bit long, like in 1 millimeter, so I'm just going to trim it. Basically, when you're doing this to extend your pocket, it doesn't have to reach up to here, but that's just you decide where you want it to go. So now I just need to put some glue. Here and here. And I just put some clip on so it will stay in place. And I need to do the same thing on the other side. Again. Up to the edge. And a clip just to hold it for now. And this is the flap. Now, in terms of closure, you can do so many things. You can go around with a ribbon. You can put magnets if that's what you like. You can put Velcro dots. All kinds of way to go about it. You can even continue and decorating it. I can put butterflies for that matter. So decorating part is really up to your imagination, and the sky's the limit. I think I'll go now, and I'm just going to show one more way of closure that I like to do. I'm just going to find the center here. Okay, so I'm going to punch a hole. Now I'm going to put an eyelet, but it really it doesn't have. You don't have to if you don't have eyelets. I'm so not an expert on it, and my this thing is from the cheap store. It's not great. Okay, a little bit crooked, but it is what it is. And I'm going to take this, what it's called, jute, I think. And let's see. I like to have one short one, one longer one. The longer one is going around, and you can go one time or second time. It's really up to you. And when you get here, that's where I'm doing this. And again, you can do it however you like, and sometimes I even put a little tag here or some beads. Again, sky the limit. So here is that. Very, very easy. Like so. Opening. I've got an extended pocket, and I can stuff it with whatever I want to send in Happy Mail. Okay, so that's just one example. Very simple, anyone can do it. I need to check and see if the other ones are dry, and I need to check the chat and drink something because I'm parched from talking so much. Let's clear some of the things here. Okay, got some leftover paint here. So let's use it. Before I continue, always using leftover paint. And done. Okay. Everything is rattling here when I'm cleaning all the stuff that I've got on my desk. Okay, good enough, I think. Okay, tea and chat. And I need to see all the people I've missed. Okay, going back. Hi, Juanita. Hi, Sonia. Do they use baby wipes as painty papers? No, most of the time what I do with the baby wipes, I let them dry and then I'm cutting them into ribbons and I'm using them to put at the end of tags. They are also, you can stretch them and then I use them at the end of the tags again in an eyelet. That's what I usually do. Once or twice I've used them in to create a background, but it was nice, but not worth the effort. I've got so many papers, I really don't need this as a background. Hi, Anita. All kinds of closures of art journals. Yeah, I can probably do a video on it. Okay, I think I've caught up with the chat. And let's see what's going on with the other envelopes. Glue. The bane of my existence until it's dry. Well, let's do something so I can show you other things until the glue is dry. Let's see. More envelopes, paper bags. So, yeah, okay, here we are. So, let's get another envelope. I'm out of the whites, now I only have these ones, the manila envelopes. One more thing that just goes great with this size of manila envelopes is using them as a cover for a journal, a notebook, a whatever. I'm going to put some painty paper on the outside so it would be quick. And let's find something interesting. Maybe this one. Yeah, why not? Let's do this one. And yeah, I'm just going to use a glue stick again. I'm doing the outside. Now I'm just moving quite quickly and wanting to show you all the stuff that you can do with it. So I'm using the glue stick. Also, the painted paper is on a paper placement, disposable placement. So it's it's quite thin. It doesn't need much in terms of glue. So I can just use a glue stick and not wait for wet glue to dry. I'm just putting it here. Yeah. Again, need to trim the excess. I just now remembered where my bigger cutting mat is. I took some cheap boards and covered them with acrylic paint and put them aside to dry, and it's on the cutting board. Now I remember, that's why I couldn't find it. It's somewhere aside in this room, somewhere. Okay, so already got something going on the outside. Of course, this can be a start, or this can be the finishing thing. So, in terms of cover, you can do any kind of fold. It depends what you want to have inside in terms of paper. It can be elongated like this, and again the flip will be like this, and you will have like what it's called traveler's notebook, and it can be just folded in half like this, and I can even fit, this is just a plain notebook, I can fit it right in here. Okay, and what's great about Manila, this kind of Manila envelopes, is that A4 is A4, which is the size of printer paper, can go inside easily. So let's see, let's take, I've got some A4 that have some pattern on it. Here we go. From the cheap store. So A4 fits right in very nicely. And of course you can put any kind you want. It can be just the plain white paper, the printer paper, it can be colored A4s, whatever you've got you use. And again, even if you've got tons of scrapbook paper that you don't use, you can trim it and decide to put it on the inside. Now in terms of binding, several ways to go about it. And binding, I mean creating a signature, because no matter what paper you are using, you want it to go on the inside, and there are several ways to go about it. One is just taking a stapler. First I need to align it. And also fold these ones. So I've got the fold here, the fold here. Now I've got a stapler. I'll show you. I've got a stapler that goes sideways and makes it a lot easier to staple something like this, like so. But you can do it with a regular stapler, and I'm going to show you how. So you align it, and it's better if you, to hold it in place, put some clip that will hold the pages. And you need something underneath where you want to staple. You open it, and it's better to put some, if it's a something foam or a towel underneath. Let's take a towel. Everyone has towels. Here we go. Just making sure it's in place, and I'm putting the stapler here, and then all the things that you are angry about, you just go and go like this. And now you go on the outside, and you need to fold the pins. I don't know what to call them, and most of the staplers have something here in the back that just helps do that. Okay, mostly it's to help get rid of the staple, but you can use it also to do that. Now I have this stapler, and I can go like this, and once again go and do that. Okay, so that's one way to go about it. Another way is to, if you have an elastic thread or any kind of elastic, you can go around, and then you can change the the papers you've got inside, so they don't it doesn't have to be permanent. You can always change whatever goes inside. This is very, as you can see, very simple. I can also decorate on the inside. I can add a pocket if I want to. All kinds of stuff can be done. I can again put some ribbon on the outside. All kinds of ways to go about it. Another way to go about the signature is to stitch it, which I'm not going to do today. It's just it's very simple, but and usually I will use waxed thread, but it doesn't have to be. For something simple as this, you can use embroidery thread to do the signature if you're up to stitching it. So that's a very simple way. And I want to show you another example. So let's take another envelope. Here we go, another envelope. And let's get another painted paper. Let's see. This one looks interesting. So again, let's move some of the stuff here. And I'm going to put again some glue stick. I'm just putting enough so I know the painty paper will be adhered nicely to the envelope. And again, it doesn't need to be painty paper. I'm just doing it now to show you an example. You can decorate however you want. Okay, let's see. I'll just put it here. Like this. And now I'm going to trim the excess. I really need a larger cutting mat. Let's take this. Okay. Okay, again, here we are. That's the cover. And now I want to show you another option. I just need to find another paper that will go with this. Let's see. You know what? I'll just go with black. I've got black Bristol paper. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to, first of all, I need to trim here because I've got a tear in this that I don't need. So I'm just going to trim it. Okay. So now I'm going to mark the length of my envelope here. Let's get white. So yeah. I'm going to cut two pieces that I don't know what to call them to explain myself, but it will be very clear in a minute what I'm doing. Let's see. I just need two pieces in the length of my envelope. Okay, so what's going on is I'm going to adhere these two pieces here, but I'm going to adhere them here, here, and here, like two pockets. And why am I doing this? Because then I can take the notebook and just insert it here, and each time I'm finishing a notebook, I can take it out and put another one in place. Very simple. So this is going to be a notebook cover that you can change the notebook each time you are finished. So you can buy the simplest notebooks like this one and make a fancy cover just from a Manila envelope. And of course I could have decorated the inside too. That's completely up to you. I'm gonna let this maybe I'm gonna let this dry so it won't move, and then I will stick my notebook inside. So there you go. And of course you can, if you want, you can add all kinds of decorations. Sometimes I go on here on the inside, oopsie, and I put some ribbon in, like just to decorate it. And of course it doesn't have to be jute, it can be anything that you want. Let's just close this. And this is completely just for decoration. And when you're doing something like this, you can also, if you have beads that can go here, you can add beads if that's what you like, or you can add beads just at the ends of whatever ribbon you are using. Completely and utterly up to your imagination. So it's not completely dry, but that's what happens when you don't have patience. Like I don't have a patience sometimes, depending. So here we go. So that's another example. Let's see what's going on in the chat. I'm using the glue stick because it depends. Something like this, I've got the envelope is already a steady paper. The paper I'm adhering to it, like this one, is quite nice, so, and not too heavy, so a glue stick is good enough to adhere it nicely, and then of course you don't have wrinkles and you don't have to wait for it to dry. And you can use a white glue. You just need to be more patient, careful, and sometimes I will use like a plastic card to scrape the glue so I won't have puddles. It's really, as you go, you get a feel to what works for you. That's the best explanation I can give you, Caroline. Red Rosie is in the house. Hello. Hi, Barbara. I've used several times a music sheet in a background in all kinds of our journal pages. You need that stapler. This one, I think it's from, I bought it on Temu. This one, I really like it. Anger management stapler, yeah. You can do with you can staple with a regular stapler like I've showed you. The thing is that if you put something like metal ruler, you don't know where the pins will go, and sometimes they will get really crooked. That's why it's better to have something spongy, or I usually use, where did I put it? I like to use most of the time underneath this kind of condensed foam. It's for kids, and it's really nice to have underneath the stapler. That's what I usually use. And even when I stitch a signature and I need to do holes for the signature with the owl, then I will put something like this underneath. Again, something from the cheap store, and I use them also, especially these ones, the cube ones I use to make all kinds of stamps. I will cut shapes and adhere to each facet of the cube, and then I will have multiple stamps on each side. Maybe I can find one to show you. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. I've got all kinds of shapes that I use as stamps, and so yeah, it's really easy to use. Here is another one. So this kind of condensed foam is really nice to work with. Again, from the cheap store. Okay. Do you use those envelopes with the plastic window? We don't have them anymore. I see all kinds of videos that other YouTubers do. We don't have those anymore. We hardly have all those what you call them, security envelopes anymore. Everything went digital. you hardly get any kind of envelope in the mail here. All the bills, all the things that used to come from banks, everything went digital. You don't get any more envelopes here. Hi, Melissa. Yeah, I think I started at your time, at your end of the world. I started at 6:30 a.m. The foamy stuff is for little children in the cheap store, at least here. Okay, so let's see. So we've done the cover for a notebook. I've done a cover with a signature. What else did I want to show you? I don't remember. Okay, let's see what other envelopes I've got here. Oh, the paper bags. Okay, so paper bags. I know I bought large paper bags, almost the size of the Manila envelopes, but for the life of me, I can't find them. They are the same shape as this little one. So I'm going to demonstrate on this little one, and as I said at the beginning, I will, when the live is over, I will put a link in the description box for a video I've done some years ago about using the paper bags to do something like this, and that's the only example left from that video. So when you've got a paper bag like this one, first of all you open it like so, and then you go to the side and you've got this fold here which goes on the inside. But now what you're going to do, you're going to flip it and you're going to make it go to the outside like so. And now here, if you can see this triangle of the fold, I'm going to put my hand in and I'm going to switch the side that it was folded. Again, this fold was to the inside and I'm pushing it now outside, and this fold was to the outside and now I'm pushing it to the inside. It will make sense in a minute. And because it's so small, it's now giving me trouble. I don't usually use this kind of small paper bags for this kind of projects. Now I'm going to fold here in the middle, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Again, this fold is now going on the outside, and the triangle fold is going on the inside like so, and that's what you get, okay? Which is this is what's going to be the closure, okay? And again, you decide on the size of your clutch, envelope, a pocket, whatever you want to call it, and whatever you want to use it for. So that's how you use a paper bag. And here you adhere it like so. And or you, if you decide, you can also decide to leave it like this. If this interests you, this shape, I don't know, the fold interests you, you can just adhere this flap here, and this will be the closure. You can play with it so much and do all kinds of stuff. If you don't like the jagged edges, you can trim it and then glue in here, or you can leave it open and then you can stuff more things on the inside here. So again, all kinds of things that you can do with it. So that's the paper bags. And let's see. Passover prep. There is still things to do. There are still things that only can be done in the last minute, but I'm all over it. DEFCON 1. No, no one is coming here, so no one touched my stuff. So I'm not worried. It's just me. I'm organizing some section of this area, and then I put things in another place, and then I forget where I put the stuff. It's me. Thank you, Diane. Okay, what else I wanted to show? Let's see if something is dry from... Oh my God, so much glue. Not dry yet. Well, what I wanted to show you with this, when it's dry, of course, I'm going to trim the excess, and then sometimes I like to go with the torn edges. Sometimes I will go with gold marker, sometimes with black. It depends how I want to go about it. Sometimes I don't want to see all the torn edges. They are there, but I'm not going and putting something that will make them more prominent. Sometimes I want to create something more cohesive, and then I will just go and either stamp all over or stencil all over. Like I stenciled on the other, on this, just to make more interest. I will go and stencil randomly on this kind of thing if I wanted to make it more cohesive. Sometimes I like to make the torn edges more visible. Depends on my mood. Yeah. Each time I'm moving something around and I can't find it. Just maddening. Okay, so let's see, maybe I can... No, it's just... I put so much glue. Let's see if I can trim it. Just so you can see how it looks. Now it just looks like one big mess. In the video that I've done some years ago, there are more examples of decorating the envelopes. There is one that I used a map to cover, and then I did a wash on top of it and some stamping. I've done all kinds of stuff, so when the live is over, check it out. There are all kinds of other ideas to play with on stuff like that. So you see, just by cutting the excess, it already looks better and interesting. For handmade paper, yeah, so much glue. I'm always saying that I need to buy stock in some glue factory. The amount of glue I'm using. Okay, so I think I will let this continue drying. Same thing with the black and white, the one from the coloring pages. Let's trim it so we can see it a little bit better. Again, I can leave it as is if that's what I want to go with the black and white, or I can color on top of it. I can do a wash. You can pick just some elements on that you like and color them. All kinds of stuff that can be done. Already looks better when it's trimmed. Okay, so now I just want to show you one more thing, and I wanted to show you how to make an extended envelope just from printer paper. Now it can be, again, just plain white printer paper. You can of course decorate it in advance if it's stamping, stenciling, just painting, whatever. Or you can use an A4. It doesn't even have to be an A4. I like to use a printer paper. You can use other papers that are a little bit more thick, but it's just a little bit difficult to do the folding. So I'm going to demonstrate on these papers. What you really need is a square, and to get an A4 or any rectangle into a square, it's better to, the easiest way, instead of measuring, is just to fold it like this. Now I'm not completely folding all the way. I don't need the crease in the paper. I'm just marking it so I can cut it. And I'll just put one. They are not the same size. Okay, never mind. I'll do this one later. So now I'm just going to trim it so I will have a square. I don't like measuring. If I can avoid it, I'm avoiding it. So I'm using a cutting mat because then I can align what I mark with the lines on the page. Okay, so I've got a square, and let's see, I think I have an example here, one that I've done. Let's see. The amount of things I've got now on my desk is just staggering. I'm working on some template for whimsical birds. I want you to do a live with some whimsical birds. I'm working on the zebra template. I'm working on all kinds of stuff. That's the envelope that is we are going to do, and that's the extended part, and it's just from a square. So what I wanted to say is that if you have a pattern and it's really important to you that, I don't know, that this corner will be on the flap, then what we are going to do now is, let's see, so I hope I'm not forgetting. Oh, okay. So if this corner that you want to be the flap, then this corner is going to be the inside, this one. And what we are going to do is fold it like this, and I'm not going all the way. I'm going to explain why. Because basically I don't want to have a crease here. So I just folded it like this and didn't go all the way. And it's just printer paper, so you can see it's very easy. And I already think I've made a mistake. No, I didn't make a mistake. So now I'm folding this side to the crease, almost like making an airplane. Okay, so very easy, and because it's printer paper, as you can see, it's very easy to fold. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this like so, and I just need a little bit of triangle here, because the triangle is what is going to hold this. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, like so. And now I'm folding this up to this triangle, and I'm folding this up to this triangle. Okay, and what we need to do now is this needs to come in and this needs to come in. And although it's printer paper and it's very easy to fold, what I like to do is I like to fold it again to the other side. It's just easier later to get this on the inside. So now I've got this, and I'm just pushing it to the inside very easily, and I'm pushing this to the inside. Okay, almost done. Now I'm going to fold almost up to here. Okay, leave like 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters. Okay, and now that I have this fold, I can go and take this triangle to the inside. And once this is done and my envelope is, I can see that everything is done and working okay, I can take this, put some glue, and it will stay in place. I'm putting a little bit of glue here on this little triangle that goes on the inside, and I like to put some glue here just to make sure that it will stay in place. So now I've got an extended envelope. I can use it in an art journal, I can use it in a Happy Mail to put all kinds of stuff inside. You can put it in any kind of journal and with all kinds of stuff that you want to use in the journal. So here we go, that's the extended envelope. Very easy. I'm going to do just another one from this paper, and again I need it to be a square, so I'm just doing it this marking, and I can cut it. The closure to the envelope, again, you can put a Velcro dot, you can put little magnets, any kind of closure that you want. Got the square. Again, I need to decide which corner I want to be the flap. I'm deciding on this, so that's the bottom. And since it's the bottom, that's what I'm folding. Like so, and I'm not going up to this corner. Folding like an airplane up to the crease. Again, so I will have a little triangle here, folding here, folding here, and now to the other side, just so it will make my life easier. Pushing to the inside. Once you get it, it just goes very quickly. Triangle to the inside, and now some glue that will keep everything in place on the triangle. A little bit here. Here we go. Another extended envelope. I've done some just so you can see. I'm working on a journal. Let's see. If you remember the papers I dyed with a purple cabbage, so these are all the papers, and I've got 5 signatures that are going into the journal, and on each signature at the end I've added this kind of extended envelope so I can stuff things on the inside. I stamped on the flap just to add some more detail, because the whole journal is sea themed, as you can see. Stamps, stenciling, all kinds of stuff going on here. So I've got like 5 signatures, and on each, at the end of the signature, I put this kind of extended pocket. See? And I still need to do the cover for this journal. This is the 5 signatures. I've got let's see, I think I've got like 200 pages here. Yeah, 5 signatures. Let's see what's going on in the chat. And I need more tea. Betty, hello. Yeah, I don't know how you you're up this at this hour. The music paper. I think you missed my answer. I said that I've used. Maybe I didn't understand the question, but I've used before a music sheets in the background of our journal pages. Most of the time, I will do some kind of a wash on top of it just to push it back a little bit. Sometimes I used it in a collage. There are all kinds of art journal pages that I've done in the past with music sheets, but not a lot because I don't have a lot of music sheets. It's not something that I can get easily here. Betty, I've used manila envelopes to make all kinds of. I've done this one, uh, like extended pocket. I've used them as a cover if it's for a signature, or if it's just to put a notebook on the inside. What else did I do? I've done some that I haven't done. I just decorated them, but because there is still wet glue, I can't do much. Torn paper, torn coloring pages. That's what I also did. And now I've showed the extended envelope. What sort of tea? It's always Earl Grey. I don't change. Hi Desiree. I don't know if I've seen you earlier in the chat. Anyone that I've missed, hello. This sea-themed signatures took me a lot of time. I really wanted to make a really wanted a lot of to use a lot of paper, and because I dyed so many papers, and I really wanted them all to go inside the journal. So, and I wanted to have each page with something else going on. So it took me a lot of time to stamp and stencil and add all kinds of details to each page. I'm really, really liking what came out of it. Took a lot of time, but it was really worth the effort. All this stuff that I've done here. And now I need to do a cover, and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to go about it, so it's still waiting. The sea journal, I don't know, I just needed to make it, so I made it. If someone will later on want to buy it, then I will sell it, but I get an idea and then I need to make it, and that's that. I have lots of other stuff that I like the butterfly journal that I wanted to do. I made it. It's here. Uh, I I usually don't use them. Usually this kind of stuff I'm selling. I've got so many art journals that I'm working on. I really don't need another one. But that's that. No, I have an idea and I need to make it, no matter what. If I could turn the notes into characters, I don't know. Mm, never thought about it. Yeah, the fun is in the making. Make a journal page that looks like a music paper. Maybe. Seafood, nope. No seafood. No sea cockroaches. Yeah, it's kind of an art journal, but not really. I'm still working on another one that I done a vintage one, and I'm working on it. There are so many projects that are in the making. And no, I don't like seafood. I don't even like fish very much. And seafood just, that's what it looks like. It looks like cockroaches. They just live in the sea. So, and not that I really care about kosher, but for Jewish people, it's not kosher to eat seafood. Yeah, I stamped and stamped. When I was 15, my family, we went to Spain and Portugal on a very long trip. We've done most of the major cities in Spain and in Portugal. And I remember one, it was more like a village. It was called Nazaré. I think it was in Portugal, not in Spain. And it was by the sea. And I was 15, my sister was 11. And at that age, you don't really appreciate all kinds of food that you don't know. And we came to this, I don't know, village or little town. And all the restaurants, of course, where the beach is, are were with large aquariums with all those roaches. And we didn't know what to do. We were hungry, and they just dropped us there. It was like an organized trip, but you get to a city and you have some time to go and do your thing. Not everything is with the group. So they just dropped us there, and we're going all restaurant after restaurant, and all there is to eat is those seafood stuff in large aquariums. So we started going inside the village until we found something more continental. And then we got something like potatoes and steak. Yeah, that was something. And large aquariums in front of the store with the big what's it's called? And not scorpion. The other, the one with help me. My brain doesn't work in this hour. You can share digital papers in the Facebook group. Yeah. Lobster, yeah, large lobsters. Blah. Awful. Just awful. Yeah. And it was a long time ago, and you couldn't. I even in Portugal, in Lisbon, which is the capital city. I remember we got there late at night to the hotel, and my parents went to find some food for us. Took them like an hour to find some hamburger. It's not like today that each city have all the large franchise. If it's McDonald's or I don't know, a KFC. Sparkleberry Shine is in the house. Hello. I'm not vegan. I just can't eat those creatures. Even a fish, I think maybe salmon once a year. I will eat it. I really don't need all those. Don't much like a fish. Wow. Okay, I think I covered everything I wanted to go over. Yeah, with all the envelopes and the paper bags. Okay, I'm just putting away some of the mess I've done. Any questions, requests? I'll probably find the paper bags I wanted tomorrow just because it's Murphy's Law. When you look for it, you can't find it. Thank you, Claudia. No seafood for me. Okay, yeah. So we've done all this. What else? Next week there is no live. I won't be able to make a live next week, but there will be a video. I will put a video up, and I'm working. This is, I think, that's the template for the whimsical birds I want to do in one of the lives, I think, with some kind of whimsical background. And that's what I was working on today. It's just, I'm going to, I want to put on my website the template so anyone can just take, do whatever he wants with the birds. So that's just one way to go about it. So there will be a template for the birds. Yeah. And yeah, so what else did I need to tell you? I don't remember. Yeah, so no live next week. I'm going to Cyprus. Bye, Betty. Yeah, happy Easter, everyone. We are doing a Passover on, let's see, Saturday is the big hoopla. Yeah. Thank you, Claudia. Mm. Okay, I can see the flower again. I'm always dropping things that I need to dry on the floor. Yeah. Okay, so this is it for this live. I thank you everyone for coming in. It was great. Happy Easter, happy Passover, and well, we'll meet again in a live a week after that. But there will be videos next week. Bye everyone. Thank you for being here. Bye bye.